Wesley and Ashlyn, we are continuing on with verbs. Before we go too much further though, let me hear our helping verb list. Have, has, had, do, does, did, shall, will, should, would, may, might, must, can, could. If you cannot say that with me, then you need to spend time today getting that in your brain so that tomorrow you are able to say it with me. Let's hear our state of being verb list. Am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been. As well, you need to be able to say that one with me. If you couldn't today, then you need to play this over and over and say it over and over with me until you can say it, okay? So we are learning today, so we've learned you can have an action verb. We've learned you can have a state of being verb. We have learned that you can have a helping verb that can help either a state of being verb or an action verb, okay? So we're going to begin learning about the verb phrase today. So in the sentence, John has been here for an hour. Our verb is has been. Now, if we look at has been, and I'm asking you to mark on your paper, mark your verb as action verb or state of being verb. Remember when we did the A for action and the B for state of being? Well, it would never be just a helping verb because a helping verb has to help another word, okay? So your last word in the verb phrase is going to be the determiner whether that verb phrase is an action verb phrase or a being verb phrase. The word been is on our have, has, had, do, does, did, shall, will, should, would, may, might, must. Oh, no, it's on the other one. Am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been. So that is going to make it a being verb phrase and not an action verb phrase. In the sentence, he has eaten 10 pancakes. That sounds like my Levi. He would eat that many if we let him. He has eaten 10 pancakes. So our verb phrase is has eaten. Eaten is an action verb. That's the last word in our verb phrase. That will determine what kind of verb phrase we have. If eaten is an action verb, then that verb phrase is an action verb phrase. Okay? So look in your books at page 116. And we are going to underline our verb twice. And you're going to circle your helping verb, okay? And I want us to even go ahead and determine whether it's an action verb phrase or a being verb phrase, okay? So I have read Heidi 2 times. Our verb phrase is have read. We're going to change the directions. Underline your verb phrase 2 times. Have read. And look at your last verb in the verb phrase read. Is that an action verb or a being verb? It is action. So your verb phrase is an action verb phrase, so put AV above it. No man can serve 2 masters. Our verb phrase is, remember can is a helping verb. May, might, must, can, could. So can serve is our verb phrase. Underline it twice. And our last verb in the verb phrase is an action verb, serve. You can stand up and serve. So put AV above your verb phrase. I might go to the creek this afternoon. Our verb phrase is have, has, had, do, does, did, shall, will, should, would, may, might. Might is a verb, always and forever. So might go is our verb phrase. Underline it twice. And the last word in our verb phrase is an action verb. You can get up and go. So that is going to be an action verb phrase. So put A above it. Christ has risen from the grave. Has risen is our verb. Underline it twice. The last word in our verb phrase is an action verb, so that is an action verb phrase. Put AV above it, or A above it. Daniel, you must finish your homework. Have, has, had, do, does, did, shall, will, should, would, may, might, must. Must is always and forever a verb. That's all it can be. Must finish. Underline it twice. The last word in our verb phrase is going to tell us whether it's an action verb phrase or a state of being verb phrase. You can stand up and finish, so it is an action verb phrase. Brianna has accepted Jesus as her Savior. Has accepted is our verb phrase. You can stand up and accept, so that is an action verb phrase. Put A above it. I will praise thy name forever and ever. Will is always and forever a verb. That's all it can be. Will praise is our verb phrase. Praise is the last word in our verb phrase. We can stand up and praise, so that is an action verb. So it is an action verb phrase. Now I want you guys to understand something. The reason memorizing these verb phrase lists is, first of all, because your teacher has asked you to. That's a very important reason. The second important reason is because those words that are in those verb lists, that is the only thing that they will ever be in a sentence. They can never be anything else. So when you automatically see those words in a sentence, you're not having to sit and think, what in the world is the word must? Must. I can't stand up and do must. It can't be a direct object or anything else because it's not a noun. It doesn't ask a question. You will know automatically. Must, will, can, could, would, shall. These are verbs. I know this. So because your teacher asked, number one, you to memorize them. Number two, because it will help you tremendously when it comes to diagramming every single word in the sentence. You will automatically know what those verbs are. Okay? All right, so you do have a worksheet to do online as well. All right, guys, thank you.